Okay, we're on Sukkah, Perek Gimel Mishnah Hey, 5th Mishnah in the 3rd chapter of Sukkah. We now turn to etrog, which is the last of the Arba'im Minim that we're going to talk about in our pasuk, as we've learned. Okay, Ulekachtem lachem b'yam harishon pri Eitz Hadar. Now we're on pri Eitz Hadar. So the Gemara actually talks about extensively, well, to some degree extensively, how do we know that pri Eitz Hadar is an etrog? And it gives a ton of different options. First of all, it's a beautiful tree that we know, but there's a lot of beautiful trees, the Gemara says. And then, so one of the opinions is hadar bi'ilano mishana l'shana, meaning if you look at one of the things that's unique about an etrog, but some other citrus trees as well, is that there's always etrogium on the tree. Whereas other trees, it'll continue to grow. You pick some, the more will grow. Whereas the other trees, they have seasons, definite seasons. But in the end, the Gemara, the sense you get from the Gemara is that they had a Masorah. The Masorah was that pri Eitz Hadar was etrog, and then they tried to fit it and understand into the pasuk. Nonetheless, there's a Mishnah. Etrog hagazul v'hayavesh pasul. So this is again a repetition of the previous language. If the etrog is stolen, because we said in the pasuk, ulekachtem lachem, it has to be lachem, it has to be yours. So if it's stolen, at least on the first day, it has to be yours, lachem. That's what the Bartanura says. If it's dried out, it's also pasul. Shel asherah v'shel ir anidachat pasul. As we learned before, if it's worshipped as an idolatry or an ir nidachat, the destroyed city, it has no measurement, and therefore it's pasul. Now we get into unique. These are what we've seen in the other Mishnah. Now we get into unique areas regarding something that's a fruit. Shel orla pasul. Orla, remember, is if you plant a tree and it grows in the first 3 years, it's not edible. You can't eat it. You're not allowed to use it. And then the 4th year is what's called neter ravai. You bring it to Yerushalayim. Similarly, shel truma tme'ah pasul. It's fruit. So if it's designated as truma, you give it to the kohen. But if it becomes teme'ah, the kohen has to destroy it. So therefore, it's pasul. Why? Truma teme'ah, because it says ulekachtem lachem. You have to take it. Sheyeh ra'ui lachem. It has to be ra'ui. It has to be ra'ui lachem. It has to be edible. It has to be worthwhile. It has to be available to you. And therefore, if it's not available to you, it's not ra'ui la'achila or hana'ah. If you can't benefit from it or eat it, therefore, it's not usable as an etrog as well. And therefore, truma tme'ah or orla are pasul. Shel truma tehora. What if it's truma? I took my etrogim. I have a whole harvest of etrogim. And of course, some of the etrogim go to the kohen. And I took it, gave it to the kohen. All right, designated as truma. Lo yitol. You shouldn't take it as the dalid minim. But ve'im natal kasher. But if you did take it, it's kasher. Why lo yitol? So the Kahati explains that the Gemara says that they used to keep their lulavim in water. And as we know, or as we've learned a number of times before, water is what's called machshir l'tumah. If a fruit becomes wet, then it can become a bekabel tumah. And they wanted to prevent truma from becoming tamei, because then you have to destroy it. It's a davar kadosh. So therefore, lo yitol, because they were afraid you would take it with the truma. They just like that we keep our dalid minim in the fridge, and it's got water, it's wet. It's going to get the etrog wet, and it's going to make it muchshar lekabel tumah. But if you did it, it's kasher. Shel demai, the Mishnah continues. What if I have an etrog of demai? What's demai? Demai, we've learned in Masechet Demai, and you can look it up. There's a whole Masechta called Demai. Demai is produce that you bought from an Am Haaretz. And the produce that you bought, I have a whole Mishnah. You can look at the first Mishnah on Masechet Demai, and there's a whole description of what Demai is. The Amei Haaretz, they had no problem giving Truma. But they were like, what? I have to give 10% to the Levi? No way. That's ridiculous. I'm not going to give 10% of my crop to the Levi. What did he do for me? The problem is they didn't realize that in the truma, in the maaser of the Levi, there's something called trumat maaser. And trumat maaser was the portion the Levi had to give to the Kohen. And if you eat trumat maaser, then that's, I think, mita b'dei shamayim, if I recall correctly. So therefore, Chazal decreed that produce bought from an Am Haaretz was called demai, and you had to designate the trumat maaser. At least trumat maaser had to be designated. But it was a safek. Did he take off or didn't he take off truma and ma'asrot? Because most Haaretz took off ma'asrot. Some did not. So therefore, it was called demai. Demai, I don't know what it is. So therefore, if I have an etrog of demai, Beit Shammai poslim, Beit Shammai says, you're not allowed to use it because most people are not allowed to use demai. It's a gzeira until they take off trumat ma'aser. But Beit Hillel machshirin. Why did Beit Hillel machshirin? Since it was only gzeirat Chazal, okay, Chazal also said, chazi la'aniyim. Poor people were allowed to eat demai. The gzeira of demai didn't apply to the poor. So since it's edible for poor people, therefore, machshirin, if you use it as your etrog, it's also kasher. Finally, Shel Ma'aser Sheni b'Yerushalayim. Ma'aser Sheni is produce that was in the years of Ma'aser Sheni, the third and the sixth year. First, second, fourth, and fifth years. Okay, and you had to take it to Yerushalayim and then eat it in Yerushalayim. So if I'm in Yerushalayim and I have this etrog of Ma'aser Sheni that I brought to Yerushalayim, lo yitov, just like we learned for the Truma Tahora, you shouldn't take it. Why? Because it's going to become tameh, because you're going to touch it to the lulav that it was water in the water. But v'im natal, if you took it in Yerushalayim, kasher. But if you took it outside of Yerushalayim, then it's no longer edible and it's not kasher. Only Ma'aser Sheni in Yerushalayim. We'll stop here. And designated learning the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.